presenter is Jamaican-born Almina King Raven, who survived the difficulties of living in a small island to emerge with one of the most valuable inventions of the information technology age. How did she do it, and what are some of her secrets? Let us join Almina.
How to communicate effectively, or how to communicate in such a way that you get what you want. Every person who has ever been successful in life knows that in order for you to succeed, you have to know how to communicate and how to communicate well. There are two main areas I'd like to just touch on for a moment, and we can stop for a moment and think about those. In my book, How to Win and Hold a Job, I have a chapter on how to communicate effectively and different forms of communication. What I'm going to focus on today is what you really need in order to be functional and to get ahead in life, as well as in the job market. There are two main areas that I'd like to focus on. Number one, what we say, and number two, how we say it. Let's talk for a moment on what we say. Now, if you are going to communicate in such a way that you're going to get what you want, it's important for you to know what is it you really want. There are two main areas that we're going to focus on for a moment. Number one is what you say, and number two, how you say it. Let's talk for a moment on what you say. Now, the first thing you have to do is to determine in your own mind what the outcome is going to be. What is it you want to achieve? What is it you want to get? Or where do you want to go before you communicate? Now, the second thing is we have to think very carefully how we're going to get what we want. We have to choose the words and the expressions that will motivate that person to say yes. We have to be able to prepare well. Even if you're going to talk to your boss, or you're going to go for an interview, or you're going into a situation where you want yes for the answer, it is important that you know the person, know what the person wants to hear, know the words and how you're going to say that. In fact, there are times when you have to write down those words. Write down the sentences, study them. It takes 30 seconds sometimes to get your point across. There's a book written on that, how to get your point across in 30 seconds. And you know, a lot of commercials are written in 30 seconds. So during that time, you should be able to convince the person that what you want is what you're going to get. So the words we use, what we say, is very, very important. So from this moment, I'd like you to start thinking what you say before you say them. Words are important. Also equally important is how you say it.
In communicating in a way so that I get what I want, I realize that it is key to speak with simplicity, with clarity, and with brevity. In these days when people are so busy, when they're so easily distracted also, I realize that if I don't get straight to the point with a message I want to convey in a way that is easily understood, then nobody is going to be motivated by what I have to say. I also realize that how I say it is also very, very important. If I say it in a lackluster manner, then again nobody will be stimulated to respond to what I have to say. So I realize I must speak with conviction. I must speak with earnestness. The people must sense that I really believe what I'm trying to say. They must see that in my facial expression. They must hear that in my tone of voice. If what I'm saying calls for enthusiasm, they must see enthusiasm. At times it calls for warmth, and they must hear that as I express myself in my tone of voice. And in that way, then it enables me to really motivate people in the way that I speak. They see that I believe what I have to say, and they also are led to believe that too.
How we say something, the tone of our voice is vitally important. It is said that every human emotion can be detected in your voice. If there's frustration or bitterness or resentment or failure, that's reflected in the tone of your voice. On the other hand, if there's excitement and there's determination and positiveness, that also is reflected in the tone of our voice. When my daughter calls me, I don't listen to what she's saying most of the time. I listen to the tone of her voice. I can tell if she's sad or she has a problem. When my son calls me from Jamaica, that also is important. I have to listen to the tone of his voice. Or if I call him, the way he answers the telephone, I can tell if he's happy or if he has a problem. And then I deal with that. So what you say and how you say it has to be important. The words you use, the expressions you use, and the way in which you present it to them. You can ask for something and you ask for it negatively. You ask for it in such a way that the person will say no. You can ask for something and you can ask for it in such a way that they'll say yes. Sincerity is also another important thing because that's reflected in the tone of your voice. It's one of those intangible qualities that's very hard to pinpoint, but it's important that when a person is sincere, they get the results they want. In fact, in teaching, students know when you're sincere. Young people know when you're sincere. And if you speak with sincerity and use the right words, you will succeed. In the corporate world, most employers are looking for students or looking for people or looking for employers who have good communication skills. And in order to develop communication skills and to get what you want, it involves the two areas we just discussed, what you say and how you say it. So whatever you're going to do, whether it's verbal communication or written communication, pay attention to your words. You cannot take back bitter words. You can't take back words that will hurt somebody or result in failure on your part. So before you say anything, think about the words you're going to say. Rehearse it in your mind over and over again. If you have a meeting for the next day, spend time preparing it, even if it's for 30 seconds, so that you make an impact. Equally important, how you communicate. If you are going to ask for something and you're on a professional level, dress professionally. Conduct yourself in a professional way because all of that is a part of communication skills. And then ask for what you want in a very positive way, a very determined way, because if you want the outcome to be yes, you will get it. You will get it. And I wish you all the best.
Raise me up.